Welcome to Poorly Explained.
Stay a while and listen.
And we're back.
Hey!
That's after my voice crack. We won't put that part in, though.
It's all good.
What up?
Yep.
Maybe Patreon, probably not.
Let's fucking rip it, dude. You know what was so funny about Winx condoms?
What?
The rain. We were laughing our asses off at the rain. I wish it would start storming right now so we could have more fun.
That was pretty fun. It's crazy that the audio was able to, like, cut that out.
You can hear a little bit of it.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the background, but it's not
It's funny
bad.
because you hear us talking way louder.
Yeah.
Gotta normalize them.
No, it's a good time, though.
Yeah.
Like this is about to be.
Yeah. You got something you wanna roll with? Or?
Yeah, let's fucking, I'm gonna break open the book.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All
Fuck
right.
it, dude. We're about to run with Bismarck's War. We talked about this with Nick. You know what? Fuck this shit. I ain't doing this right now. I'm gonna finish the book.
All right.
I looked at my own handwriting and was like, I can't read that.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
You got bad handwriting, dude?
No, I'm not. Handwriting's great.
Oh.
I can read it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, dude, I don't remember what I was thinking with this.
Yeah.
It starts off with it's just a bunch of bullshit. My handwriting's not bad,
Yeah.
but
Dude,
it's late.
You were killing it though. Like, I don't know. I said this to you before, but it's crazy you're able to remember, like, not only what was going on, or and in a chronological order is impressive, but it's also impressive remembering names, remembering key details and stuff like that.
I've listened to and watched and read so much history that I can riff on it for as long as I need to. Especially WWII.
Yeah.
World War II. 1939 to even before 39. Dude, they have this book called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich.
I've heard of that.
The audiobook is 55 and some change hours long.
Oh yeah, I heard you
I've
mention
listened
that
to
one.
it more than twice.
Yeah.
I've listened to it 2 full times, and then I've also gone over like chapters that I loved about it. So I can just go off on what I know about that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
A little passion.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, it's fun. It's nice to just have something that you can talk about at length.
Yeah.
I'm kind of running into this problem where I'm realizing that I need to be mindful of the pod in my spare time.
Yeah.
Because it's like we get to it and we'll go for a little while and I'm like, I don't have anything to fucking talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just talk about the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
So
No, you'll get it. Dude, one thing I realized in the first pod, whoever watched that,
yeah.
is boy did I own up to the name of Poorly Explained. Like, some of the shit I said, I was just like, oh.
Dude, how perfect was it too that so Brendan, my stepson, actually came up with the idea of putting a beer mug in the logo.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I don't know. That was before we recorded the first one.
Yeah.
And boy, did that
It looks
make
good.
all the difference, because we have not done a podcast without some drinks involved.
As far
Nick doesn't drink, but last night I had a few while we were recording. And so me and you.
Good for him, though.
He quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And well,
Yeah.
you gotta loosen up the tongue though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could talk on them. I definitely could do this. I don't
We
know if I
could.
could just ramble.
We
like I
could, but now it's like at the point where it's like, oh. Like when we do it with, eventually we're going to do it without it.
Yeah.
I would assume. And it's gonna be different, but it'll be still just as good.
If it doesn't, we're gonna end up with a problem.
Yeah, dude. He's like, we can't do a pod without some drinks.
Yeah, because at the same time, I'm like, we need drinks to. You were heavy on like, dude, we need to have some drinks to loosen us up so we can talk. And then on the other side of that, I'm like, we need to get a lot of content so that we can really, make it a real thing.
Yeah.
Because if you only post once a month or once every, or just if you
How long is
only
it gonna
decide to
take
do
to
it
get
whenever you have
traction?
fucking time to do it, you're never gonna do it. So we're
Right.
forcing ourselves to do it. It's fun,
Yeah.
but we're still forcing ourselves to do it. But we're also like, I wouldn't be drinking tonight.
Right.
But we're doing the podcast, so here it goes.
It's it's fun too, because throughout the week, as like I listen to a lot of crypto shit on the Norm, so like I can only talk about that and blab about that so much.
Yeah.
But like throughout the week, like if I'm watching TikTok or I'm watching a podcast or whatever, I'm like writing down topics. Like I wrote down like I probably have about 3 topics from y'all podcasts listening to it that I just wanted to like, whether they're big or small, just wanted to butt in, you know?
Yeah.
Like fucking Japan having Transformers, dude. That'd be such a crazy idea.
Yeah.
They got an Optimus.
I found myself
Not an
too.
Optimus Prime, dude. An Optimus, dude.
So I don't know if it's like it's dawning on me starting today because today I re-listened to 2 hours of shit that me and Nick did and stuff that me and you did.
Yeah.
And then uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, dude, am I gonna have to like re-listen to all these things over and over again? Because I'm not it's not a problem.
You could probably get ChatGPT to analyze that shit and be like,
No,
hey, what kind of wild shit did I say?
ChatGPT does not do it. You have to print out a transcript and give it to it. Because I was
Even
thinking
with the,
about
like,
trying
paid
to
version?
I was trying to get ChatGPT to find funny clips in our episodes and come up with some images to put out so that we could. I want to start doing fucking clips too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, fuck, dude, that's so much work. It'll be easier now that we have video.
Yeah.
Because then we could just
Right. Nobody's
find funny
really gonna
moments.
listen to audio clips, but
Yeah.
shit.
And
TikTok
for a
is one of the
while-
main things. If I could post video clips and like I wouldn't mind doing that side at all. But it is work to do.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
it's more it's just I haven't even started to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, right now it's not even as so much of a worry. Like it's like let's just put out shit.
Yeah. Just fucking
And
throw it
then-
out there. Nobody's listening anyway.
But
Let's just fucking do
eventually-
it for fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna step up the game and then we'll start putting clips out and shit, and that'll be cool. Like even just getting a couple views on that, and then with other platforms work like that too. But TikTok more so is kind of it caters more to
Virality.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like if there's been people that posted 1 video or 5 videos and one of them did crazy numbers. Whether 1,000,000's crazy to you or a couple thousand is crazy, like regardless,
Yeah.
that'd be sick. If we can get 1 extra viewer from that shit, I'm down. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
down to do it. I think it'll be fun, and I enjoy like the first one. I was like cringed on myself a little bit, but I enjoy going through and listening to it. And I think I can't wait to listen to like the Patreon and this one. You know?
No, the first one was just bad because it was on earbuds.
Yeah. That
know.
was so funny.
Yeah.
We laughed about that for a minute.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good time. But man, I've been like I said, I just need to start trying to find funny shit to really talk about on here.
Yeah.
You know. And I don't know if I should because I found myself laughing at just the shit we talked about anyway.
Yeah.
One thing that this used to be what I considered a serious topic, but I've hit people with it and they just laughed at me. And it's like, I'll feel happy that like my kids I'm grateful that I have some healthy, happy kids,
Yeah.
but I'm also really happy that they're not fucking ugly.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude. Yeah.
I love when you say dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's some good shit.
Oh my God. I don't have that. I know I'm not a fucking supermodel.
Yeah.
But I can,
You're good looking,
I'm
yeah.
good enough to
Yeah.
make it in the world.
Right.
Dude, you ever bump into somebody out in public?
They have
and it's just like-
way less opportunities.
I tell this to people and they laugh at me like, oh, you're so silly for even thinking that. It's like, well, you might be ugly.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
because dude, ugly people, they don't have it the way
No.
others do.
I'm certainly not a 10 out of 10, but I know I'm cute or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
Cute or whatever.
I know I got something going on,
Yeah.
you know? I
It's-
might look pale as fuck in this lighting, but
And it would be easy to say that it's worse for women than it is for men, but I don't think that's true. Because, dude, you ever run into, like, dude, think about some of the dudes that you might come across at PetSmart.
oh yeah.
There's some guys that I'd like.
I'll name call them.
So whenever I have some extra time, I like to just go to the sports complex. They got a walking track.
look at all the uglies.
And they got a walking track, and I'll just I'll pop a headphone
Yeah.
and listen to fucking Tucker Carlson or Sean Ryan or
Yeah.
something. And I'm walking around, and it's a fucking mix.
Yeah.
There's dudes that they're running and they pass me up, and I'm like, dude, if that dude wanted to fight me, I'd be so screwed.
Yeah.
There's like these physical freaks.
Yeah.
And it's like they're
As
hunks.
a man, you naturally kind of identify that shit. Yeah.
And then there's like a dude
Subconsciously.
who walked like a tenth of a mile and sat on a bench, and he hasn't combed his hair. I don't have hair to comb, but at least I shaved the shit.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
get both walks of life.
Yeah.
And it's like if I wanted to be friends with either one of them, I'd go for the dude that would fuck me up and is, running.
Yeah. You better be funny or have a great personality.
Yeah.
If you're ugly and
It can only make up for so much, too, though.
yeah.
Go to, like, a GameStop. Dude, at GameStops, you run into the, like, just the freaking giant squids of humanity.
Yeah.
Dude.
Some people's voices, like, most of the time their voices, if their voice sucks,
Yeah.
it goes with the ugly person.
I changed my voice as soon as you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Hey.
there's got a guy at work that, like, not even I can't even do it as good. That's how, like, what the fuck it is.
Oh,
you know?
man.
Oh my God. Like, I was helping a customer earlier and, like, and it's, boy, I don't want to talk to that guy,
Dude, I run into that a lot with dudes I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm some type of hard ass
Yeah.
or anything, but, physically, I'm a man.
Yeah.
Dude, you run into guys that are just total pussies.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what are you doing with your
So
life?
soft.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was at the water safety event from a couple weekends ago
Lord.
that we talked about it in the episode that never got released.
Yeah.
Paige listened to the part that we talked about. She was like, that you can't do that.
Yeah.
But over there, before it started, there was like a playground, and we took the kids to go over there.
Yeah.
And there was a dude with his kids. His kids seemed fine. I think the son might have been autistic. But he was just like, I'm fat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't judge myself too harshly on it. Because
There's
I can
degrees
still,
of it, though.
yeah, I can still bench press a
Yeah.
good amount, so that's cool. But it was like one of those fats where it's like there's nothing underneath.
Oh, I guess
It's just like
if you're fat enough,
there's just like long, thin hair, like wire, like greasy hair, and just a total fucking puss
Yeah.
ball, dude.
Yeah.
It made me so mad. It's like, dude,
Is
you
he
have a
one-
son. You need to like.
Is he one of the
man up.
ones that can't get up on his own?
Oh no, he wasn't that bad
Okay.
off, but they're out there,
Hey, look,
especially
I'm
in
just saying,
Louisiana.
if you can't get up on your own,
Start getting up, dude.
You
There's
gotta-
there's literally an exercise called Turkish get-ups.
did I ever?
You
I'm not
ever
gonna-
did those?
No.
You just get a heavy ass kettlebell, hold it over you, lay on
Oh,
flat on
yeah,
your back,
yeah, yeah.
and then get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turkish get-ups, good
Right.
cardio.
Right.
Do that
Yeah.
until you can't.
Yeah.
No, but it's not even so unhealthy that he can't get up or
Yeah.
do
That's
anything.
good. Yeah. You got
But
that going.
also, it's like, I know he has never exercised in his life.
Yeah.
It's just, it boggles my mind that you can have like a son
Like you're okay with that.
and just be a total puss.
Yeah.
Like if somebody goes to rob your house, y'all are fucked.
Yeah.
Unless you have a gun. But even if you have a gun, I doubt you're strong enough to fucking,
Yeah.
I doubt you have the fortitude to fucking cap somebody.
Right.
Yeah. I'm mean. We've had this conversation
Oh man. Yeah.
where it's like I wake up and I'm instantly angry.
Yeah.
I feel like I could at least be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to prove myself.
True. You got robbed.
I got to prove to myself one time.
Yeah.
You want me to go into it? Real
Get
quick?
it.
So, I always, everybody wonders what they would do in like, movie scenes and shit like that. And it's like, I would do this. Well, this was my moment to like, where I actually proved to myself, oh, I'm about that shit. Like I'll actually do what I said I would do kind of
So
thing.
where were you?
So I was living in an apartment, well, it doesn't matter now, on Johnson Street, whatever. Relevant to you, but to the viewers, who cares,
Yeah, you were in your own apartment.
I was
you
in
were
an apartment
sleeping.
on a little busy highway kind of street, whatever. You would think because it's on a highway, kind of not a highway, but it's
Yeah, it's
it
like a
connects to the
major
highway.
street in
Right.
Lafayette.
You would think that would be the least place they would go, and no, because there's like a shitty
Well, the people breaking into others' houses aren't particularly intelligent.
right.
They're,
Yeah, he was so the district. You ever heard of that?
yeah, it's like a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I think from what I know, it attracts a lot of shit people. not a place like we would go. Um, it's kind of just trash, I guess. That's from what I heard. But anyways, that's a problem apparently with the district is like that happens a good bit, and with that apartment complex, low key. And so I'm in there and I'm doing hold on, put this in. Um, I'm playing Rocket League. Shout out Rocket League fans. I'm playing that game, and it's relevant because the timing of it was crazy. But if I wasn't playing Rocket League, I would have went to bed,
Okay.
and so I wouldn't have been awake. So no telling how everything would have played out if I wasn't awake because I'm a hard ass sleeper.
True.
I like to believe like I sleep past well not anymore, but I sleep past alarms and shit like that, and then whatever. But my mom always made the joke that like if a fire broke out in her house, I wouldn't wake up till it's about to burn me. Like till I'm like it's incredibly hot and I'm like wake up and the flames are in my room, you know? And I could agree with it. You know, I'm probably better at it now. But so I was playing Rocket League and it was the timing of it was crazy cuz I played like I was gonna go to bed like an hour before. I actually stayed up an hour longer than I planned to. It just kept saying one more type shit, you know,
Yeah.
like one more, one more. And so after like five one mores, you know, an hour went by. I would have been asleep otherwise, you know, if we wouldn't have kept winning. If we would have lost, basically, I'd have been in bed. I would have been in bed.
Yeah.
And so finally, like you know, we end our winning streak, losing streak, and we end our winning streak, and like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed, bro, and hop in bed. Not even 10 minutes. Like I didn't even get to like feel. I wasn't even that sleepy, but I wasn't even like about to go out. Like I was still wide awake, closing my eyes. And I don't remember if I heard a noise or not, but I think I did. And I open my eyes and I'm looking and I see a flashlight in the living room. So like there's like doesn't matter the structure, but it's two bedrooms on one side. There's the hallway that connects them, living room, and then kitchen area and shit like that. Well, from the living room I see a light and I was living with my girlfriend at the time and her cousin, and I see a flashlight. I'm like, you know, very like, what the now I'm alert as fuck. You know, I was already not even that sleepy.
When did you feel the adrenaline dump? At that point,
As
or
soon as I
whenever?
saw a flashlight,
Okay.
adrenaline was starting to spike,
Yeah.
and I was like, the fuck is that? You know, and then the light starts getting closer, and you know, and you can think a lot of thoughts in a couple seconds. So like in those couple seconds of just seeing the flashlight, I'm like, okay, this is like not one of our friends because I don't have that many friends, and they wouldn't be. None of them can just get into my apartment. So I'm like, okay, it's one of her cousin's friends, like coming home late from a bar or something like that, or whatever. Somebody's drunk. They don't know why the fuck are they flashing in the house, but that's what I'm thinking. And the flashlight's getting closer and closer, but they're taking awkwardly long. Where it's like, okay, this is not someone
That knows the apartment.
for sure, and they're also being very weird. If they know who like the cousin, if they're friends with her, they're being really, really weird. So
Yeah, you'd be on the phone with
they're
her.
either they got to be drunk, you know, if they're being this slow at approaching the hallway to go to their friend's room, and like the flash is getting closer, and I'm like, you know, and then like I'm in the corner against the wall in the bed. My girlfriend's closest to the door, and I see the flash getting closer, and so I'm just wide-eyed watching, dude. I'm like ready. And I'm not thinking like I'm about to get robbed or this is a murder or nothing like that, but it you know, those thoughts cross my mind, but I'm trying to think of every reason why it would make sense. And then uh the flash gets closer and closer. I'm like, I'm about to see him. And this big fucking like 250-pound at least dude pokes his head in the and our door's open. That's another thing that a factor that's weird is like
Yeah.
normally I close my door, but I left it open.
Yeah.
And so his head pokes around and we just make eye contact for like
What probably felt like 3 seconds was
Yeah,
probably like
it
a
was-
tenth of a second.
yeah, it felt like a good couple seconds of like us just staring at each other. And I'm registering like any reason for this to make sense. Like this is a maintenance guy, this is the landlord, something. And then like in those milliseconds of time and I'm like, no, none of this makes sense. And he's wide-eyed, like he's like also nervous to be in the building.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, and then so I register, and we both like wide-eyed. I'm looking angry, and he's looking surprised, not expecting anybody to be awake. And dude, I fucking like gorilla, like this gorilla jumped out of bed. I probably smacked my girlfriend's body, like jumping over her. Like my feet didn't even touch the bed. I like pure arm strength jumped off the bed over her, and it was just instinct. Like I started running, chasing it. I don't have this guy could have had a gun, a knife, whatever, and I was just like, I'm gonna fucking fight this dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm killing him, not killing him, but you know what I mean.
You try.
I'm gonna attack him.
It'd have been worth it.
Yeah, and as soon as I jumped out the bed, like gorilla hopped out of it, he's already started running. So now my confidence is through the roof. I'm like,
yeah.
he's fucking scared. My adrenaline's like beyond measure. And he starts running, and I'm full sprinting. Like, so by the time I jumped out of the bed, he already started running because he don't know what I'm about, if I have a gun or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't even, clarity think what he might have had going on. If he had buddies with him, if he had a gun, any of that.
Well, at some point, yeah, obviously you can't factor all that in.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a
Yeah.
good instinct because it really doesn't matter.
It was like a protect kind of thing. It was like,
Yeah,
one, you're in my fucking house, but two, like, I'm protecting two women. You know
Exactly. If you would have been the only survivor in that situation,
Yeah.
you'd have looked like a bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, what else I'm gonna do? This is
Yeah.
beforehand in my mind. This is the moment I've lived for.
Yeah.
Like, and so by the time my feet touch the bed, he's already running. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh, dude, I got him. Dude, he's scared. Keep in mind, I'm like 140 pounds.
Yeah.
But
How old were you at the time? How long ago was this?
this was probably
I remember hearing about it when it happened, but I don't remember.
This is probably 2021,
Yeah.
2022, something like that. I
Yeah.
think 2021. So I was probably about 20. But like, and I hadn't gone to the gym yet at this point. I went in the past, but not like enough to where it to matter at this point. So
Yeah.
like, I didn't have that much going for me,
Yeah.
But I was like, adrenaline was like, in my mind, he could smack the fuck out of me and I wouldn't feel it.
Yeah.
He would have to knock me out. Otherwise, I'm fucking going ape shit on him. And by the time my feet hit the ground, he's already like in the living room into the kitchen, and I'm hauling ass trying to catch him. And I was like, and I remember like afterwards praying like, damn, if my cat would have tripped him or something,
Yeah.
dude, he's fucked, dude. I would have, oh god damn, I was so ready.
Yeah.
And by the time I made it to the kitchen, he was already out the front door, and I wasn't thinking maybe his boys with him waiting to get me. I was just chasing him.
Yeah.
For a big guy, if I had to guess 250 pounds, he was rolling. And I was chasing after him. By the time I made out the front door.
So 250 pounds. He was fat.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
he
wasn't
was-
like a bodybuilder.
No. Like,
Okay.
if you were 250, I would say you're solid. Like,
Yeah.
he looked kind of fat.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was rolling. And I was like, he had a head start on me. But by the time I made it out the front door, he was already he was around the corner of the apartment building.
Y'all were on the first floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was a good, like, probably 20, 30 feet away from me. And at that point, I stopped running. I was like, all right, I'm not about to chase him for fucking ever. Like,
Did you go to sleep that night?
Eventually. But it took a while, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
So, like, I chased him out, and then he just kept running. I was like, all right, I'm not, this is, got to stop here. I can't just, what I'm going to do, chase this dude for 20 miles, you
Yeah.
know? Well, he ain't got that in him. I know he don't, but I don't got that in me either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we ended up calling, like, so I walked back in to the apartment the building, and I, like, locked the door and shit, like, oh, door wasn't locked. That's where we fucked up. I fucked up. I was supposed to go take out the laundry. I forgot, playing Rocket League, and didn't lock the door, went to bed. And that's the only reason, otherwise I don't think he would have came in, so my bad. But it worked out perfectly. I was awake and shit. But I remember I came back I'm in the living room and I'm pacing because I have so much adrenaline.
Yeah,
I'm
obvious.
pacing and I'm just talking. Nobody's up somehow. Oh, whenever he got out the building, it sounds cringe, whatever. I'm like, I'm trying to remember what I said. I think it was like, "You better fucking run, bitch," and like yelling that to the
obvious.
top
You
of
have to say
the top of my lungs,
Yeah.
And I'm like, back, I don't want him to come back, obviously. So I'm in the living room, like pacing, like, and I'm literally in the living room, just, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, this is crazy. And I'm just pacing back and forth, and then me talking loud, my girlfriend wakes up, And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, boy, like, what happened? You know? And so I started explaining it to her, and then, like, we go back outside, and went, like, he's nowhere to be found. And then, so we ended up, I didn't know what to do, really. I was like, she's like, should we call the cops? I'm like, I guess. You call the cops, give them a description that,
Yeah, that doesn't matter. That would match,
so
you know
many
what,
people.
20,000 people in Lafayette, you know?
Like, and it was so much adrenaline that I was like, I'm not 90% positive he's wearing a red shirt, but he could have been wearing a different shirt. You know, like,
Yeah.
whatever.
They did not even look for him.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
I think they maybe looked in the area, and then after probably like a little while they gave up.
Yeah, because if the dude had a car, he could be in freaking Bro Bridge. He could be an hour away.
And they told me this has happened before with the district and that apartment complex and whatever. But yeah, that was like, it was a great moment for me because I proved to myself, you know, I always thought I would do this and this and that, and I did it, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a great little milestone for me. But
I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast where he talked about like one of his friends saying that once he had kids, he understood the capacity to kill all of a sudden. And I don't even like to think that way because, you know, I honestly feel like I could.
Yeah.
Kill. But for me, it's just the capacity to die is a lot stronger.
If it's me or you, you're dying. Not you.
If we have a choice.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like if I feel like if in that situation, I'm not even thinking about killing.
Yeah.
Dude, if they can kill me, at least make it take a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and just die about it.
Yeah.
Whenever you have kids, it all of a sudden, your life is just meaning. And especially, you know, losing little Conley, it's like, dude, my life is nothing to me.
Yeah.
Oh, what the worst thing that could happen to me is to get reunited with one of my other kids.
Yeah.
And I have to leave the other two behind.
Right.
You know, I'll win either way.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's good that happened that way for you.
I'm glad no one should ever have to go through anything similar to that or whatever. But
that's the gayest thing you can say. It's gonna happen to countless other people in the future.
I'm extremely grateful that I went through it, cause like I was about to, like, in my mind, I'm about to murder this dude with my fist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he trips, dude, oh my god,
you gotta learn the jujitsu.
Why didn't he fall? You know, like,
yeah.
But it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember just, yeah, it was a good moment for me.
Yeah, I just choked somebody. I mean,
I've always, and it comes to the thing where, like, I've always wondered how I would be in a fight, and he kind of stole it from me because I didn't get to see that part, but I at least got to see that I'm about it. I might get fucked up, but I was at least about it in that moment. Like, dude, I'll take everything, dude. He could have been hiding around the corner, and blah, if you didn't knock me out, dude, it's done.
Yeah, I've already went over like a plan for the entire family if the house gets broken into.
Yeah.
Because the way we're laid out is my bedroom is the farthest back on the bottom story with the two kids in front of mine in the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay. Brendan being upstairs.
Yeah.
The plan is I've had to like instill it in Brendan because he's a teenager now and he feels like he's like I want to help it's like, no, you can't. You need to hide.
Yeah.
If something happens, you need to just hide.
Yeah.
We can't lose you.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Right.
You hide. Paige, hide with the kids. I already said I'm just gonna perforate anything that comes into the house that I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
If y'all don't go in the hallway, don't go in any open areas because whatever it does, it's gonna end up with a bunch of holes in them.
Yeah.
I have 13 reasons. The first answer is 13 reasons not to go into my house.
Yeah.
The second one is another 13.
Yeah.
So that's it. Or another 12, I guess. One in the chamber.
Fucking ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have as a
probably
kid,
good that you didn't have a gun.
Right.
But at
I
the
don't
same
think
time,
I would have been able to get him. Though,
No.
Even with the gun.
No.
Unless he was, like poking his head, and I already had the gun by me.
Yeah.
And I was like, as he poked his head.
But then you also got to pay attention to what's behind him.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just go around shooting.
It would have been a clean shot.
into-
I wouldn't have hit anything important.
Yeah.
Also, the funny part is, like, he broke into a fucking bunch of kids' apartment.
Right.
We didn't. There was I mean, we've been in an apartment for a little while now, but the coolest thing he could have taken if he was stealing was a microwave
Yeah.
and a dishwasher. Like, there was, we didn't even have a fucking couch in the living room. I don't think at that point.
Yeah.
Like the coolest shit he could have got, even between the whole house, was my room.
That's
which
kind of like the whole thing, even nowadays. Like, even if,
yeah.
like, my house is not an apartment, but, like, the most valuable thing I have is, like,
your guns or something.
no, all my guns are in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And, like, my TV
Yeah.
was, like, $300 brand new.
Right.
You know, you
You're
get,
gonna
like,
sell it for 150, like,
yeah,
if you're lucky.
if you're lucky, and you don't know anybody that's
Yeah.
gonna buy it.
I had
and
a
like
TV.
the only thing more valuable than that is the fucking couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to steal that
Yeah,
shit.
like that's a 2-man job, and you have to plan it, going through all
Yeah.
the double doors and stuff.
And being quiet. Like, yeah.
No, dude. Actually, you know what? I do. I have a not a similar situation, but a situation that made me feel like my house is really defensible, because the dog Bingo, she doesn't bark.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
You probably never really heard
I
her
don't
bark.
think I've ever heard her. Maybe
One night, it was before me and Paige had moved downstairs. Our bedroom used to be the upstairs bedroom,
Right.
and Brendan and Luke were downstairs.
Yeah.
And at the time, Brendan was like 7 or 8.
Right.
He was really young. And Bingo was downstairs, and she let out a single bark.
Yeah.
And, you know, most people with a dog, if their dog barks once, they're like, oh, shut up. But to me, it's like, well, she doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's the middle
So I
of the night.
went downstairs. I didn't bring my gun. You know, I had
Yeah.
Bingo with me.
Right.
And she would be a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And so I went, and I very sneakily went to where her kennel was, unlocked it, and I was like, where's it at, Bing? She went straight to the back door, and she started, you know, like very excitedly hopping at the back door. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, hell yeah, dude. Open the back door, it's Brennan riding his fucking scooter in the backyard.
Bruh.
And I was like, dude, get your fucking ass to bed. It was like
Yeah.
10 o'clock. It was a
What
school
the
night.
fuck?
I'm like, dude, yeah, Bingo ratted you out. Don't try that one again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would have had a gun, it'd be like, bitch.
I would have never.
No.
I wouldn't bring a gun even in a situation until I knew it was like, I would have to hear like a grown man
Yeah.
in the house to bring the gun.
Right.
Like, even if it was just a backyard, dude, Bingo can run 45 miles a fucking hour, dude.
Yeah.
She very naturally, if you would go outside right now
Yeah.
and take off running in the backyard, she'd chase you and nip at your hands and heels.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a natural thing for her.
Yeah.
So it's, you know.
I used to always have like a paranoia when I was alone as a kid, like,
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it's less normal now, but like my mom, whatever, they would go to the casino. And then when I was at her boyfriend's house, it was a bigger house, so it's like it's more ominous, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's fucking windows. Like, I hated that.
I was scared of the dark for a really long time.
Same.
Yeah.
Not like crazy, but yeah.
I remember it like if I was home alone and it was dark, I would walk fast down the hallway.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because you're like, something might be right behind you, dude.
Even to being a grown man, I remember, this is a weird one, but it was like, this is like me being a grown man, because Game of Thrones came out whenever I might have even had a kid at that time. I remember there was this scene in the very first like episode where it was like after the little boy fell off the fucking tower and he was crippled, and the lady was in there and she went to like open the door or close the door, and there was a dude behind it, and it was like, you shouldn't be here, and he had like a fucking knife on him and stuff.
Yeah.
I've literally thought about the words like, oh, you shouldn't be here, and a guy with a knife whenever I'm in the shower.
Dude,
and my heart
in
starts
the
to race,
shower?
and I'm just like,
Oh my God.
But dude,
You're putting shampoo on and
I'll say this right now. If I'm naked and somebody breaks into the house, I feel like I'm winning. Nobody
yeah.
wants to fight a naked guy.
you got your dick out,
Yeah, oh,
dude.
yeah, dude.
You're about to fuck shit
Yeah.
up, dude.
They're
Yeah.
going to be surprised
Yeah.
of how much blood is not going there.
Yeah, dude.
And they're
You're
going to be
the
like, oh, we're in trouble.
Softest I've ever been, dude. It's
No,
going into you,
oh, yeah.
dude. Yeah.
If they bump into a dude with a dong, they'd be like, oh, yeah, he's not, the blood's not making it to the muscles at that
Yeah.
point. It's all my blood's making it to the important places.
Yeah.
In that situation, they'd be like,
Dude,
oh, we're in trouble.
In the shower with your eyes closed, still to this day, not often, but sometimes when I'm taking a shower and I'm like, dude, I hate scary movies.
Paige and Brennan are watching a scary movie right now. And, dude, so let me
I
just go
don't
on
enjoy
this.
them. I don't see why.
a scary movie is either too scary for me, or I'm just thinking if I was there, it would be totally different.
Yeah, like, why'd you do that? Yeah.
So whenever I went, grabbed a beer and
How
some
the fuck
Zen
would you say hello?
before we started recording, and Paige and Brennan were watching a movie. I was like, what's this called? And Paige was like, we can't talk right now. And it was like some lady with a knife in the camera was like walking up like, and then she walked up the stairs and then like banged on some kids' doors that were staying at her house or some shit. And it was just, and Brennan was like, it's called a visitor. They're visiting their grandma.
Yeah.
And so basically it turned out to just be an old lady with a knife.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, if there was just a man there, the threat would be completely nullified.
Right.
You could take like a healthy adult woman, not even old, with a knife, and 99% of the time, I am fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's not much.
It would be
not that much of a threat.
Yeah.
You got a gun? All right, we can consider the
threat.
Yeah,
now it's a threat.
You probably will miss, but
then it was like an old lady with a knife.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, just walk up.
I mean, it's scary, but like, I'd be scared as fuck when she approached me.
Walk up the front steps.
Yeah.
You know, and
I would Sparta kick so hard, like.
Not even just that, just like grab it and bump into them and they fall over.
What is it? You're gonna get a few cuts, you know. You'd be all right.
Yeah.
As long as they don't go for the neck.
They're not fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weak.
But then other than that, it's like if it's that kind of scary movie, it's like that's totally negligible,
dude.
Because that's not even a threat to me. Or it's like something that's too scary, like The Conjuring or something.
Yeah, dude.
There is demons and stuff.
Dude.
I'm not even scared of that too, because I'm a Christian. Fuck them. Jesus got my back, dude.
I'm so
Fuck
scared,
y'all.
Dude.
I would be scared out of my mind, but Jesus got my back.
You start crawling on the walls or ceiling, dude.
Oh yeah.
I might kill myself.
Yeah, joke's on you, dumbass. Yeah. You're not gonna kill me.
Yeah, no, I'm not dying. I'm not dying by whatever the fuck that is. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm out myself.
Yeah.
Sorry for everybody else, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we're making it through.
We had a good run.
We're probably not making it through it anyway.
Yeah.
No, I watched
Yeah, scary movies are gay.
Have you ever heard of Smile?
Dude, I saw it was just a bunch of clips that I saw. I guess they sent people to baseball games or some shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's like,
dude, so I watched it because of Myra. We watched it.
What was it, like a demon possessing people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm weird. I'm interested in it. Like, I like to watch. No, I don't. But I'm like intrigued, but I don't want to watch it. And then I just don't like fuck scary movies. I don't see it's bad for your brain. I don't understand why you would. But I
guarantee you, Paige is gonna wake up at some point tonight and grab me, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I had a nightmare. It's like,
stop watching that shit. Yeah. Like, what? Watch a fucking.
What are you scared of? An old lady at the door with a knife?
Iron Man, dude.
I'll open the door and kill him. Like
Blanca, yeah.
Like, hey. I just open the door. Hey.
I got the biggest, the largest.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So we watched Smile, and there's 2 movies. Well, I watched both of them. But, like, when I watch a scary movie, fuck watching it in a theater, first of all, because they open a door, and in a theater, them opening the door is so incredibly loud that scares me.
Yeah,
like,
and
I know
that's annoying.
I can know it's coming, and they slam open a door, I'm scared.
Yeah.
So, like...
And it's like, that's cheap. Yeah. You didn't win that one.
It's just loud, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you do any loud sound, I might jump.
And if you want to actually scare somebody in real life, the last thing you want to do is be loud on the way to doing it.
Yeah, right. But so Smile, low-key was a good movie. It was good. But it fucks with me for like days or weeks, cuz like I'll think of it, you know? Yeah. And then I don't know, it just
Dude, the one that whenever I was a teenager that fucked us up was Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, dude.
They did a bunch of them.
It's like realistic.
But we only went and watched the first one.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, based on a true story.
Yeah.
And then I went and watched it, and I'm like, no, that's not a true fucking story. I remember Dragon Ball Z was popping for me. I was the only kid in my town that liked Dragon Ball Z. But at the time, it was like at the end of the movie, it was supposed to be like a demon got the guy or the lady, I don't remember. And it was like a footprint on some flour or baby powder that was spilled right there. They were trying to catch it.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 toes. And I was like, oh, fuck, Cell.
Yeah.
Like, it was Cell that did all that shit.
Yeah.
And that kind of ruined it for me because I was like, that's not based on a true story at all.
Right.
They got ripped out of the bed by a fucking dude.
I don't
Dude,
care. I
hey,
can tell myself it's fake all I want, but if I'm like after that movie Smile,
yeah, you
I'm
don't want to hang your like sometimes
I'm
like even
checking
if you're kind of
corners,
warm.
dude.
No, even if you're warm that night, you're not gonna hang your foot over the bed.
No,
Yeah,
I don't even have. My bed is on the ground, and I'm
yeah.
still like something's gonna grab my fucking feet, dude.
Dude, I was a Cartoon Network kid growing up, and I would leave the TV on
Yeah,
at night.
yeah,
And I remember it was like an Adult Swim show. I have no fucking clue what show this was, but it was like one of those weird Japanese shows.
yeah.
And it had like a scary clown. I
Fucking.
woke up at like 1 in the morning, like a scary clown
Oh yeah,
with like
dude.
a robot body, like, and I was like, oh my God, dude. I couldn't know. I didn't have a remote. I had to like get up back in the day.
I'm turning on SpongeBob, dude. I
No, it
mean,
wasn't on. It was too late.
yeah.
I couldn't do anything. I didn't have a remote. I couldn't get up. Oh yeah, I was terrified, dude.
Yeah.
I was like 10.
Dude, after Smiles, like if anyone fucking smiles at me like that, like, dude, I don't even have a gun. I'm shooting them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
You're gonna
that.
finger bang him.
It was. Oh man, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it, and then I think about it too much, and then yeah, I'm just not a fan. I don't see why people normally. I feel like people who, except for Paige, I feel like Paige is a pretty, uh, well spirited and high spirited person, whatever. But typically, I feel like when people like scary movies, they're troubled.
Yeah. I don't know what I think it's a thrill for I know okay, so for Paige,
You enjoy it though, the fuck?
Paige gets really invested in something that she's watching.
Yeah,
You know.
I do
So
too.
whenever it's a scary movie, she kind of feels the characters.
Yeah, dude.
For
Yeah.
me, the reason why
Me
I
too.
almost never watch TV is because especially with there's a bunch of Netflix shows that they do nowadays where I cannot help but notice how they're acting.
Yeah,
I have a really big problem with a lot of
Me
TV
too.
shows that,
Me
like,
too.
if you analyze, like, if you listen to the conversation
yeah,
that they're having, it's like nobody talks to each other like that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, I have
that it's all that always bothers me. That's what keeps me out of TV shows.
I have the same problem.
And for movies, my problem is I don't get into the characters in that situation. I'm thinking of myself in that situation.
Yeah.
And of course, I've already said before that I'm demented in the fact that I'm probably overconfident. Like I said, I watch public speakers and think that I could do better than them. So
Yeah.
I'll watch a scary movie and I see a dude make a misstep.
Yeah,
and
why
I'm
would
like,
you
no,
do
I
that?"
wouldn't have done that. I would have done,
Yeah.
I Monday morning quarterback the hell out of scary
I
movies.
try not. I'm a bad talker in movies.
Yeah.
Like where.
That's why I think that's the reason why I like Marvel movies. Because
Yeah.
I'll watch Captain America and I'm like, no, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah. Iron Man, dude. That's me,
Yeah.
dude.
Obviously, I'm just like Thor.
I'm so smart.
Yeah.
I would have did what Iron Man did.
Yeah.
I would have built that fucking suit in the cave.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I have a problem with that. I was like watching something and it's just like, yo, I talked about this recently when I went on a rant about fucking Outer Banks. Fuck that show. First of all,
Never heard of it.
terrible.
Okay, good.
wa-
I'll continue to not watch
I've
it.
never watched the show. I watched 4 seasons of the show and was blue balled because they like you're 4 seasons deep and there's no reward
Really?
at all. It was like they just got fucked and fucked and fucked and like not literally, but it was just and then in moments it'd be like I'll just do a quick little example, but like there's a guy with an assault rifle chasing you actively. He's right behind you. Like if you don't get around the corner fast enough, he's got you.
Yeah.
He's gonna shoot. You're a kid. He's gonna shoot you. You're going after treasure.
Oh, so assault rifles, they reach out and touch people. You got to
Yeah.
get 1,000 yards on those
Yeah, he
things.
can.
You know, you can,
He can spray and pray, and he's
Yeah.
gonna hit you for sure because you're dumb and you're in a show.
or not 1,000 yards, 1,000 feet, easy
And like,
for a good shot.
dude, they got the treasure. Like this is the 4th time they've got treasure that was like finding the fucking, I don't know, like the just sacred treasure, like something everybody's looking for type of shit. Like you found the cave of gold is one
Yeah.
of the examples. And but like they were trying to find it was like a crown that was from fucking back when Blackbeard, his wife had the crown, right. So
I didn't even know he got married. Good on them for knowing that.
Something like that. But anyways, there's a crown as like, and this was like after getting blue balls for 4 seasons. So you're like, okay, this one they're gonna get it, and then this is when it takes off to them like life is gonna be better because they got, dude. They're like getting chased by an assault rifle. Like you're about to die. You're about to like in my mind, I'm like, you're gonna lose your life if you fuck up. And they're like, okay, we're about a good solid 50 fucking feet away from this person. Let's make out real quick.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love you so much. Let's make out. You're about to die. What the fuck? That would never happen. You know, like.
Yeah.
And it's just like shit like that that just bothers the shit out of me. Like.
And then writers sit there and wonder why AI is taking their fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't deserve a job.
Like
if AI is taking your job, it's like because you suck at it.
It's like The Last of Us. Whenever they had that one episode where they try to bring in some woke shit, and they wonder why they lost like fucking 3/4 of their viewers because you did some dumb ass shit. Why would you? Like, I blew past it because I was like, whatever. I'm not that.
Yeah, Paige told me about that.
I'm not that anti.
Said it was like a bunch. Was it gay stuff?
No, it was like a girl being like, "I'm a dad. I'm gonna be a dad." Okay. It was Ellie being like, "I'm gonna be a dad," which was like,
I think science. You know, America, the pinnacle of science in the world, has proven that women can be fathers and men can be mothers. So that's good.
Whatever, but
good
like,
for them.
It was that moment didn't bother me because it was a simple like they're kids too.
No, one thing I've always hated in movies at all, and it got worse with the fucking like recently, was for me sex scenes are the dumbest shit in a fucking movie. Show them kissing, show them laying in a bed.
Yeah,
if I wanted to know what it was like to watch a TV and watch two people fuck,
yeah,
I can Google it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to see.
You can tell where it's going.
I'm not watching the movie for that.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Let them make out.
And then it got worse because then all of a sudden every sex scene was fucking gay.
Yeah.
2 chicks or 2 dudes. And it's like I made it even worse.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to see straight porn.
Right.
In a fucking movie. No, get to the plot. Like let's
this is not
get
that
the
important.
Story kind of fleshed out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Instead of showing, you know, like I said, show them kiss, show them laying in a bed. You could
fast forward to after where they're like, that was great. And
it's like, okay, I know what happened now.
Yeah.
I have a solid reference to what may have went down.
No, let's drag this on for like a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Women fall for that shit big time.
Oh yeah, dude.
It comes from women.
Them book fantasies.
It's either that or books, dude. My mom.
Book talk.
My mom was a fucking porn book reader.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a cousin Vaughn. My mom.
Vaughn?
No, almost.
Oh, okay.
I have a cousin named Vaughn. He's older than me, and my mom and his mom kind of like swapped books.
Yeah.
You know, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Honestly. God damn it. I just remembered that my dad
horny over
watches this. I hope my dad gets a good laugh out of this.
How horny did you get, dude? I got so horny.
Yeah. They were like, dude, I flicked the hell out of that thing.
My bean was flicked, dude.
My dad, I'm not telling my dad about this episode.
Yeah.
He used to like laugh at my mom and his mom for like reading porno novels. And it's like now they just put it over to TV where I'll just like, once the kids are in bed, I'll walk into the living room and it's just like a girl riding a dude in the bed. And I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? Is he hurting her?
Right.
They're like, that's what you're watching, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Like if I wanted to watch porn, I'd watch porn.
Google it.
Yeah.
Just type it in. Type in what you want to see. And it's there. Don't need all the
There's
extra
an
shit.
audience for it though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and that's what they cater to.
Yeah.
You know? But like when you start losing 3/4 of your viewers, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, maybe reel it back.
Maybe learn from what other shows have done and be like, wow, that I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't need that part in the plot. You
don't need it.
You know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's like that gay couple in Last of Us. I thought it was a beautiful little story.
You would.
Dude, hold on. It was a beautiful little story. Like these guys, like it was like, damn, it was wholesome, and it was like, man, that's how they went out, and like that's their story.
That's what they call it nowadays. They call it wholesome.
Yeah, dude, dude. They was in the holes and whatnot, but it was a good story and it tied in well and whatever. But like the part where like it's 2 hairy men just fucking making out, like they cut it almost short enough, but not enough to where it was like, you know.
Yeah.
You didn't need to like.
Don't even show them holding hands unless it's a joke.
The whole story of them was great, and then that it's just like, God, dude, why'd you do that?
Game of Thrones did the same shit. They had
yeah.
the coolest dude who
Game
was
of Thrones is all about
killing
that shit.
people with spears, and then he was like, gay. I almost said the other word.
Oh, I gotta cut that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a Patreon word, dude.
Yeah. No, he was not cool.
Yeah.
I did not like that either.
I don't know. I'm a big advocate of certain shit. Like, just make it more like Last of Us does a. Besides some of those parts we just talked about, Last of Us, like I'm intrigued in that show and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But and they do a pretty fairly decent job of making shit realistic. And I don't, when I'm not having to fucking complain out loud while it's going on, I love it. Cause it's like, oh, okay, that's, some of it's like, oh, well, kids, you know, they're not
bingo trying to get in there.
they're not that smart. That's what kids would do. Okay, that's like you know, Ellie the girl or something. She does some dumb shit that's like the last 3 times she went on her own, like separated from the group or her friend or something, some terrible shit happens. And it's like, you know, the 5th time she's doing it, it's like you'd think she'd learn. But she's a kid. I'll let that slide. You know, and
forgive it.
Of course, it's a show. It works out in her favor, whatever, eventually. But some stuff I'm just, you know, like, why? It doesn't make it better. It just makes everybody mad at the show. And then, I don't know, you lose fucking 15 million viewers or whatever it was. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you should look into that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me. But
the only zombie show I ever watched a little bit of was Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And so
they dragged that motherfucker on, dude.
Another thing that a serious problem that I have is that I overanalyze things. I try to make logic. And me and Paige have had this full-on argument.
Yeah.
Where she's like, if there's ever, I know you've heard her plan for a zombie apocalypse. Oh, yeah. You climb up to a second story, knock out the stairs, and then
what?
Do that. And then what? And I always said that the smart thing to do would just be to stick with other people.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, and it goes back to my outlook in life. Dude. My outlook in life is most people are good, honest people, and they want to do good for themselves and others. And so you would stick with other people, and that's how you would survive.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, there's no such thing. If you ever watch like a Survivor show, where it's like Man versus Wild,
or my shit,
oh
dude.
Yeah,
Bear, what was it? Bear Grylls, dude.
Yep,
that
dude's the
guy,
fucking man,
dude.
But like, what does he teach every single time? Does he teach you how to survive for a long time out in the wild?
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah.
What's the main goal?
He was eating bugs, dude.
Well, the main goal in that show was to
blow up and act like
find
I don't know
other
nobody.
people.
Sorry.
The whole point of the show is to find other people.
Yeah.
You can't. It is impossible. Okay, if you drop one man out into the savannah of Africa, you've effectively fed whatever animal finds him first.
Yeah.
You drop off a dozen men in the savannah of Africa, and it's an apex predator.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
There was a
humans do feel the need to. I believe there's a biological drive in humans to help each other.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, think of the last time you've seen somebody crying in public.
Right.
You did not think down on them. You did not think anything but you felt bad for them.
I'm an empathetic person.
Yes.
So yeah.
You feel for them.
Yeah.
In these zombie shows, it's always like the zombies become nothing more than a nuisance.
Yeah.
And then it's other people that are the problem.
Right.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Especially if we all speak the same language.
Yeah.
We all lived in the same society.
The more people die, the less of a chance we have of fucking getting past this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, what you just said sparked a memory of mine. I remember I was looking up, like, the origins of civilization. And there comes a point where, like, the word civilization is a bit fuzzy. It's hard to tell what is a civilization. And I remember reading, like, an idea of somebody's that basically said that human civilization started the first time one person splinted another person's broken leg. And with that, now, this is interesting because you get down to I'm about to go full on nerd for
Go ahead, dude.
you know, anthropology, biology, that type of shit. But you talk about replacement rates. Every like whenever you're looking at like creatures in the wild, you always want to think about, you know, their attrition rate, how quickly they die by any means, and their replacement rate, how long it takes to get a fully functioning adult of that species back on the field to help, to further the species. And so there's this thing with coyotes where
it's a pack.
They hunt in packs. If one coyote dies, whenever they start making their sounds at night, I don't think they howl. They kind of like yelp at night. You know, like it's hyenas. Like a weird kind of thing.
Not as intimidating as wolves.
But if the females don't hear back from the males that they're expecting to hear, or just the others that they're expecting to hear back from, they'll instantly go into heat to replace them.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Pigs. The reason why wild pigs are such a problem in America, I'm sure around the world, is because their replacement rate is atrocious.
Yeah.
They, at 6 months, they can start having litters of a dozen twice a year.
6 months old?
Yeah. They come out fast.
Yeah.
Humans, we have the second longest gestation cycle in any land animal on Earth.
Yeah.
First place is elephants at 2 years. Second place is humans at 9 months. And then we're not adults at 6 months. We're not adults at 2 years.
Takes a while.
It takes, nowadays we consider 18 years to become an adult human being. So the replacement rate is really low. So you get the idea that
it's not, you can't repopulate an army.
It's more important to band together and protect an adult than it is to just simply replace them. And
so they protect the women and children, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you need more people. Like more adults is better, women or men.
Yeah.
Women more specifically than men, because women could, in any species, any sexual
you could
species,
have 30 women as long as you have
the
one
limiting
man.
population factor is females.
Yeah,
in
as long
all
as you have
species.
one man, you'll be all right.
Yeah, so they say that like civilization is hinged on the level of cooperation where they, the first group of humans decided that we can't leave this person behind because we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
So it takes you from thinking that civilization started 9 or 11,000 years ago with the first farming societies, that all the way back to how long ago was it that they were doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And that takes you back, God knows how long. It could be a million years.
Yeah.
It's hard to trace it.
Dude, we are rolling right now. Dude.
I know, dude. We're already at 58 too.
Your topics are on the camera that's recording, but like I haven't even, it's cool that we don't have to like touch on topics that much. We could. That's I
always say, I said
the beauty of the topics is like I know we're me and you most likely gonna just riff on some random shit.
Yeah.
But we have topics that'll just bleed into branch off into other topics.
During our break, I was thinking about it. It's like it's only a matter of time until we go to do a pool fence that's like 2 hours away, and we're just sitting there in silence with nothing to talk about because we've done it so much. We got to avoid. I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna end up having to avoid each other if we're not podcasting, so that we have something to talk about.
Me and Conley be at least me for sure. Like whenever I'm thinking about talking about certain stuff, I'm like, nah, save it for the pod, just in case.
Well, the thing is, before we even thought of doing a pod, we
would talk about like this could have been a pod.
A lot of the times we would hang out was doing pool fences, and whether we had to drive an hour or 10 minutes to get there, we'd still end up spending the next 4 hours together.
Sometimes
we would just intermittently talk.
We would either listen to podcasts on the way there, or we wouldn't. We would talk the whole time on the way there.
90% of the time the radio was just off.
I'm still down. I'm still down to do just in the future when we figure out a setup for that kind of deal. wouldn't be that hard. But
Yeah, a
like
road
driving podcast, you know?
Yeah.
Because you never know, you know? Sometimes we get into some shit.
I mean, you don't need Wi-Fi to record it on my computer.
Right.
We could just, and I have a battery.
Yeah. We have a
So-
little dash cam kind of deal going, you know?
Yeah.
Some little, some wired up mics to us.
Yeah.
We could do that. It'd be all right.
We'll figure it out.
Where are we at right now?
We're at an hour, so it's time to go night-night.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, let's take a break. I gotta piss.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a long break.
All right.
All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Later.